So I recently did a video on my channel called How to Be High Maintenance and Proud of It. I got a lot of really positive feedback, tons of DMs, tons of comments. You guys said you wanted more videos about the high maintenance lifestyle, and I'm here to give it to you. Now, really quick before we get started, I want to be clear, because there's always somebody in the comment section getting their feelings hurt, about what I mean when I say high maintenance and why I'm using this terminology. So I personally have been called high maintenance many times in my life, usually from, not even usually, always from toxic people, always as an insult. And it was always used to kind of make me feel bad about having high standards or any kind of love for myself at all. And for a long time, I let that get into my head and really manipulate me into shrinking and minimizing myself. Well, those days are over, baby. And I'm here to help you get in your high maintenance bag, be proud of it, and watch yourself grow and shine. Being high maintenance is definitely the exact same thing as self-love. If some of you guys pointed out, you're extremely correct in that. It's just that I kind of like the expression high maintenance, and I'm just of this mindset in my life now where when people try to insult me or make me feel bad about something, I'll just decide to turn it into something that turns me on. I do it all the time. Like when people don't like me for no reason, I'm just like, yeah, girl. That's just me though. 2021, we're going to be doing a lot of content around this kind of mindset shift. There will be videos on high maintenance lifestyle, high maintenance routines, beauty routines, health and fitness routines, fashion, everything. If you guys are interested in this, I really hope you are. Definitely thumbs up and subscribe. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. Coming out on Patreon, tons of bonus content over there, live streams, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's just get right into this. So the basis of the high maintenance mindset and lifestyle is rooted really in focusing on yourself and your growth. Basically, treating yourself really well, not only because we deserve to, and it is the only way to guarantee progress and positive direction in our lives, but also, as one of you guys so astutely pointed out, the better you treat yourself day in and day out, the more that is your standard, the far less likely you are going to be to accept scraps from other people. I really hope you guys adopt as many of these habits as you possibly can, but really, if all you do is take one of them for a spin once a week, you're honestly still moving the needle, and that's really what this is about. Progress, not perfection. But it is crucial that you do something. Obviously, there are extreme exceptions to what I'm about to say, and you will have to defer to your own judgment to decide if these things will actually work for you or if what I'm about to say applies to you. But overall, you have to make time for what matters to you. People in your life, and through no fault of their own, most likely not even on purpose, will just expect whatever amount of time and energy you are putting into them to continue for as long as you allow for it to continue. You have to take your time into your own hands and stop expecting people to just like give you permission to do whatever it is you want to do. Like the time is already yours. You just need to get a handle on it. One theme you will notice with everything on this list is that there are absolutely no downsides to doing them, and I will tell you that consistently. Also, this video probably not going where you think it's going to. I think a lot of people were disappointed in the last video because I wasn't like, get your nails done twice a week and highlights every 6. Like, we'll get into kind of the beauty aspect of this eventually, but I think it's a little backwards to try to start with the exterior. This is a mind thing. And that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so the first thing that high maintenance girls do is use a planner. I know, it's not sexy, but stay with me. Remember at the top of the video when I said time is something you desperately are going to have to get control of? This is how you do it. Using a planner will make the rest of these habits easier to maintain and to track, to find out if you're actually progressing in the areas that you would like to progress, and therefore way easier to see the benefits of them. Using a planner will make the rest of these habits easier to do, easier to track, easier to plan for, account for, and then that is how you're going to see the benefits of doing them over time, is the consistency. And this planner will help you do that. Being organized in general is definitely high maintenance energy because it is literally putting your priorities in black and white right in front of you, your priorities about what you want. Who can possibly level up or grow in their life if they are so busy just trying to trudge through the everyday minutia of life? It is a scientific fact that your brain can only hold so much information at one time. So it's very possible that a lot of the chaos and stress that you feel around your life really just suffers from a lack of structure. And on top of that, a lack of some kind of physical interaction with your time. In other words, time is just like an idea that we are committed to. Philosophers will argue that it doesn't actually exist at all. But we use time to measure all of these important milestones in our lives, but it's like invisible. Do you know what I mean? But it is our most valuable asset, and it is honestly something we don't really think about until we're in a position of like a deadline swiftly approaching. Planners kind of allow you to interact with and monitor your time the same way banking apps allow you to interact with and monitor your money. Money is a tangible thing, and we can see it growing and shrinking, and debt either being paid off or getting worse in some cases. Planning is the exact same thing. The only difference is if you don't do it, you're really only noticing your time once you are in debt with it. You don't really want to be in that scarcity mindset around your time, no more than you want to be in that mindset around your money. I mean, how many of us start the year, we're finna walk into 2021, start the year with all these intentions and big dreams and big goals, and then we blink and it's December. It's because you're not interacting with your time. You're just kind of letting it move around you and go whichever direction it does. I have ADD, so I have to use a planner. If I don't, my life will literally fall apart. And a lot of people in my life kind of tease me about it, kind of my dependency on them. But I know that it's crucial and it helps me think straight. And once I started doing that, I could be an architect of change and progress in my life. That's actually what kind of inspired me to start using them back in 2014. So it's been about 6 years that I've been in a love relationship with my planner. In 2014, I just remember looking around once the year wrapped up being like, what just happened? Like nothing happened this year. Nothing changed. Everything, I am no better off than I was on January 1st than I am on December 28th. And I just never wanted to have that feeling again, if I could help it. Obviously, this year was kind of a wash. I just don't like feeling this way. I don't like feeling like I'm letting my life pass me by. We are not guaranteed another second on this earth. So I do not see the point in not trying to maximize as much of it as I possibly can. The kind of planning system that you choose to use is going to be completely up to you. The only tip I can give you is you need to pick something that you will interact with regularly. So like, for example, I have done a traditional planner, one that you buy already kind of structured out for you. I've done bullet journaling. I've done digital planning. I'm on digital pretty hard right now. I'm finding my flow in it. But it doesn't matter which one you use. It just needs to be something you will look at. You have to look at this thing and interact with it multiple times a day or it will not work. You have to constantly be reminded of this is what you have to do today. This is what you're trying to accomplish this month. So if you don't do this thing today, you're not going to get this thing you want at the end of the month. It's just kind of like reminding you of your goals and your priorities in life. Otherwise, general life will kind of take that away from you and push you in the direction that it wants to take you. No, ma'am, we don't do that. We decide which way we're going. Next up, try a meatless Monday, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a full day of not eating any meat or dairy, kind of going vegan for one day. Now, you can take this as far as you want. It doesn't even have to be an entire day at all. It just needs to be some sort of focused and intentionally planned action that is meant to benefit your health. Why planned? Because what we plan, we prioritize, and what we prioritize, we do. This is not meant to be about losing weight or some kind of aesthetic thing. In fact, it really bums me out that most people don't really think about their bodies in terms of change unless they are thinking about the aesthetic quality of gaining or losing weight. I mean, saying that, you guys, I'm really gonna get healthy this year is not as like sexy as saying I'm gonna get shredded this year. And not to mention, like, if you lose 20 pounds, the world applauds you because it's on display. Everybody can see it. But let's say you drop your cholesterol by 20 points. I don't really know how cholesterol works, so that could be impossible. I don't know. But you could have some sort of measured improvement in your health and nobody's going to clap or applaud for it because they might not ever know. But again, the high maintenance energy is I do this because it's good for me. It has nothing to do with validation, praise, or approval from anyone else. This is just me focusing on myself and what I need. And you need to be healthy because nothing else in your life is going to be possible unless you are. Honestly, some people can be so unhealthy and feel bad for so long and have no idea that it was as bad as it was until they get better. there's this quote that says, "You never know how sick you were until you get well." And it's a really good example of what I mean. This is just about one day a week, or one meal a day, whatever it is. It's just about making absolutely sure you are focused on getting lots of dark leafy greens and sweet vitamin-packed juicy fruits and getting in lots of healthy, delicious fats. And it also gives you a really good opportunity to strengthen that high maintenance muscle that reaffirms to yourself that it's good for me and that's all the motivation I need to keep on doing it. Again, this doesn't have to be a meatless Monday. It can be setting an alarm on your phone to remind you to take a vitamin or supplement every day, or drinking your gallon of water every day, or a green smoothie every day. You can pick whatever you want to do. Again, this can be a meatless Monday. This can be setting an alarm on your phone to make sure you're taking your vitamins and your supplements. It could be making sure you're drinking a gallon of water every day like your girl here strives to do. It can be a daily green smoothie. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's just being proactive about your health. And I'm sure I'm not even sure. The data suggests that most people are not being proactive about their health care whatsoever. And you just don't realize how valuable your health is until you don't, much like your time, until you run out of it. You know, I lost my mom to cancer last year, and not that we could ever guarantee with any certainty that her cancer is a byproduct of her lifestyle necessarily, but I do know my mom led a very unhealthy life, and watching someone you love suffer that way around health-related issues, I don't know, it just really, really woke me up and made me realize that I'm going to be as proactive about my health, because I want the years that I have left in my life to feel abundant. And when you're suffering with health stuff, like it doesn't really work out. I want to start doing some vlogs, or like what I eat in a day, meatless Monday, glowy food kind of stuff. If you're interested in that, definitely thumbs up or subscribe so I know that you guys want to see it. And I know I just said that this isn't about aesthetics, but being healthier does make you prettier. It just does, okay? It just does. Number 3 is get a friggin' hobby. And this might be one of the hardest ones to encourage people to do, because a lot of times when we hear the word hobby, it immediately kind of conjures up, images of stamp collectors and model train enthusiasts. Honestly, the idea of even having a hobby when you're working a full-time job and raising a family can seem very frivolous, very gluttonous, and basically impossible. But again, that's why I said you need to get a planner. But having hobbies and interests only enriches your life. And therefore, it gives you the kind of energy and happiness to bring into the areas of your life that you are already obligated to do. And everyone benefits in that situation. Your life, in one way or the other, is being spent on other people. Whether it's your 9-to-5 that you're working day in and day out to make some billionaire more billionaire-y, or it's your family that you cook and clean and take care of day in, day in out. You're serving other people and benefiting their lives. Like, what are you doing to benefit and grow yours? Like, what are you doing for you that emotionally fulfills you? Let's get one thing straight. This isn't even something anybody ever has to know about. I think a lot of people don't want to get invested in a hobby because they think of it as something that eventually they'll have to tell other people about or perform for other people, or worse, they think that anything worth doing is worth trying to monetize. Not true. You literally don't have to tell a single soul that you decided to take up pasta making, whatever it is. This can literally just be your thing for you. Learn a language, learn how to cook, learn how to paint, learn an instrument, join a book club, get a coloring book, do something that unplugs you from outside influence, where you're not zoned out in front of a screen, which we're about to get to in a minute. About to hurt some people's feelings, I think. I don't mean to, but some of y'all need to hear what I'm finna say about these damn screens. There just needs to be deliberate and intentional, there's that word again, action in the direction of nurturing some part of yourself that is otherwise neglected. This is how you build confidence and self-esteem at the end of the day. It's kind of loving on and experiencing that part of yourself that makes you who you are, organically the person that you are meant to be. And once we get into a certain phase of our lives where, like I said, it's not making us money, or people are not handing us the free time to enjoy and explore that stuff, it a lot of time just gets thrown by the wayside, and that is such a shame. If you guys have habits that you're trying to break, let's say, for example, your bad habit is that every Friday night you go out with girlfriends and you drink and you commiserate and bitch and whine and complain, and the next day you have a hangover, and every Saturday you're like, never again. The hobby is what's going to help you break that habit. Psychologists abound believe that you do not break a habit, you simply replace the bad habit with a good habit. So the plus side is not only will you not wake up every Saturday mad at yourself. Who wants to be mad at themselves? Side note, some people can be very addicted to being mad at themselves, and I can do a whole video on that as well. But furthermore, it's kind of going to help you weed out the herd, which I know I say all this stuff is to benefit yourself, but when you really think about it, your relationships and the people around you are super impactful on your everything. They really shape and define your perception of the world, everything. So let's say, for example, your friends are trying to go out to the club every night and you start saying, no, girl, I'm going to stay home and, I'm going to hang out on Babbel and work on my Korean that I'm trying to learn. Over time, those people who really only wanted to be in your life to have a buddy to drink with that makes them feel better about their wrong choices, they're going to phase themselves out. And it's a good thing to know who you actually have in your circle. There's no downsides to the hobby. Like I said, none of these have downsides. All right, this next thing, like I said, might piss some people off, but I mean it with every syllable of every word I'm about to say. Put the damn phone down. There are exceptions to this, I know. But I'm willing to bet it's not as many as we would like to think. You guys who don't have time to do what you want to do, go after your dreams, work out, eat healthy, whatever, goal or promise you keep making to yourself that you fail on, you'll say it's because you have no time. It's what I hear the most. But you guys have more time than you realize because you're spending a lot of that time mindlessly scrolling on the friggin' internet, watching other people go after their goals and their dreams and watching them create stuff. It's just really, really sad to me. And I see this happen all the time. And there's personally, in my opinion, nothing on earth less attractive to me than being in someone's presence and they're just on their phone the whole time. Like they don't look away from it. In my opinion, that tells me that you are so thoroughly removed and distracted from your own life that you're just focusing all of your attention on this noise on the internet. And I don't understand that. Social media and my phone and things like that are a big part of my job. So when I associate my phone with work now, and it's not relaxing to me in any way to sit and hang out on my phone. So it's easy for me to, pass this judgment. But I think overall, there are no benefits to sitting and being in your phones but all the time. I mean, there are studies and helicopter moms and everybody freaking out about of children's exposure to screens. And yes, the developing brain is very different than the mature brain. But our brains, nonetheless, were not designed for this influx of constant stimulus that social media or any type of app on your phone provides. Not to mention, every single app that you guys use is designed to keep you on it as long as humanly possible. So what happens is you're so used to all this input and stimulus from your social media feeds. Without them, you get bored. So you get back on the phone. Like it's just this cycle, this hamster wheel that you were on. It's a big part of what I think why we see trolls. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that every single one of you guys who's up in your phone, it's just your habit. It's okay. Like I said, it's designed that way. I'm not passing judgment. I just want you to be aware of it. But it's a big part of like why trolls exist. You have people who are so disconnected from their own lives that and so self-loathing of themselves and just discontented that instead of like giving any of that energy and focus to themselves, they just get on the internet and fight with people. And once again, I'm not saying it's not a cautionary tale. You're not going to become a troll overnight because you're on your phone a lot, but the psychology there is kind of the same. It's just people who don't want to perk up and look around them and focus on themselves. It's worrying about other people so much, and that's not high maintenance energy at all. High maintenance energy is improving ourselves and working on ourselves, and sitting around and insta-stalking people you went to high school with. Like, what? No, I don't get it. So even if you're not like at troll level phone obsession, there is still a part of you, I am sure, who is not actually paying any attention to how much time you're spending on your phone. You get sucked into your phone for a few minutes several times a day, and you think it really doesn't amount to anything, but let's break this down really quick. Let's say you get sucked into your phone. I wrote this down so I could remember this point. Let's say you get sucked into your phone for 10 minutes a day, once an hour. But according to the research, we are doing it way more than that. But let's just say that's what you're doing. That's all it is, okay? If you have a 12-hour day, that is 2 full hours of your day that was spent scrolling on the internet mindlessly. That's 14 hours a week. That is 56 hours a month. There's where all your time, your free time that you don't think you have, is actually going. This is what I mean when I say you have more time than you think you do. And part of having that planner is a great exercise to do is track your time. You got to be honest about what you're actually doing with it. But if you sit down and track your time, you'd be shocked how much of it you're spending doing things that are intent on distracting you from your life when you could be doing things like your hobbies, which enrich you and do not make you feel so desperate to distract yourself from. Everyone's got shit they don't want to do. I like what I do as a job, as a YouTuber, but there's parts of it I don't like either. Bum me out, irritate me, but I also still have time for hobbies and other things I enjoy. It is not spent with more time on social media. I can tell you're pretty but that. It's just not serving you. And like I said, everything on this list, there is no downside to it. There is no downside to spending less time on your phone. Unless, of course, you're using your phone to learn. YouTube is an excellent resource. It's my favorite media outlet there is. I don't really watch TV. I don't really watch movies, but I'll be on YouTube. And that's because I am constantly using it to learn new things. You can learn to build a friggin' car on YouTube if you wanted to, but you need to be honest with yourself. Are you sitting here and just taking in information and doing absolutely nothing with it? That's really the bottom line here. End of the day, no downsides to it. I'm willing to bet so many people accept their phone and their connection to it as just a fact of life. They don't even question it anymore. And again, high maintenance energy is taking things into our hands and doing what we want with them, to include our time, and it ain't watching other people go out there and live their dreams. No, ma'am, that's not what we're doing. The last thing I am going to say that I'm sure you guys were expecting or hoping I would touch on is to get a beauty routine. I'm a big fan of routines anyway. I just think that if you can automate as many aspects of your life as humanly possible, again, it frees your brain and your time up to focus on the things that matter to you. I also want to make something really clear, just in case you guys are getting the wrong impression. I am not a naturally disciplined or organized person at all. It is something I have had to work at. And it was because I was in places in my life for long periods of time where I was just so frustrated with my damn self. And I knew that I had to get honest and sit down and examine my toxic traits, my toxic habits, my procrastination issues, my disorganization issues. And I can't just sit there and be like, well, I have ADD, so it is what it is. Like, no, I had to get serious about changing it. I'm sure there's tons of people in my life from when I was younger who would find out how organized I am and be shocked to hear it, because it does not come naturally to me. So I don't want to hear anybody down in the comment section saying they can't. You can do anything you actually want to do. And you're just going to have to get real with yourself, really real with yourself, honestly, before that's ever going to change. So I just want to be clear. I'm not sitting up here like, I know everything. I only know this because I had to learn all of it the hard way. Learn from me, man. I heard something one time that says a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. That change might not happen overnight, but it will over time if you dedicate yourself to it. It's all about that intention, that focusing, and that planning. But yeah, about habits and routines, I'm including this kind of beauty aspect of it in there. I can do other high maintenance routines if you guys are interested in it, but basically making your beauty routine a part of your life kind of makes sure that you're not just going to abandon that entire self-care aspect of your life for the benefit of others, essentially, because that's a lot of times what happens. I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you that if you're a new mom and you're not giving yourself a blowout and getting your nails done, that you, on top of trying to be a new mom and take care of this baby, you're also wrong for not making yourself the number one priority in the world. Like, you're only one person. You can only do so much at a time. But if even the smallest actions are just a part of your routine, little steps you take every day. It's that act of reinforcing the message to yourself that you deserve that time and that space. Again, so much of what women do, we're natural caretakers, and we're usually tasked with doing the emotional and physical labor in our relationships one way or the other. We're so quick and eager to be like, I'll do anything for you. How often are we like, I'll do anything for my damn self? And your beauty routine, to whatever degree you want to take it. I'm not saying this has to include hair extensions and fake eyelashes and microblading. It absolutely doesn't. It literally can just be as simple as every day, no matter what, I'm giving myself a little skincare routine. And every Thursday, I'm doing a hair mask. And every Saturday, I'm painting my toenails. Just a little bit of reinforced action and dedicated effort towards yourself. And period. This is a fact. You don't have to like it. Google it if you don't believe me. But looking better, putting yourself together has positive effects on your mentality. It just does. Like I said, I'm making it a point to talk about this, but I didn't want your beauty to be the whole point or the whole focus of the video, because so much of the time when we think about kind of glowing up or changing our lives, we want to focus on the external. It's, you know what, girl, I'm getting my shit together and I'm losing 20 pounds. Never mind that you gained that 20 pounds because you have an unhealthy relationship with food, because you're not dealing with issues that are going on in your life. Like, it really, I talked about this pyramid a while ago, how it's that everything we do on a daily basis is what the bottom of the pyramid is. And all we see at the very top is kind of the manifestation of those habits and routines making themselves apparent on the physical. It's just not as simple as trying to literally sometimes paint over the problem and think it's going to it's not osmosis. It's not going to sink in and change anything. You really have to change your mindset around it. But I don't think that means we just shirk all of our priorities towards ourselves physically. I know a lot of people want to say that any attention to physicality reeks of superficiality, and that's fine. You can have that opinion if you want to. I'm not here to argue it. It's just that I'm willing to bet that the times in your life when you really were thriving and you just felt your absolute best, it was reflective in your physical appearance one way or the other. I know that's definitely true for me. I can look at certain points in my life, particularly with my weight, which I'm going to do a video about weight gain, weight loss, attachments to our bodies and our habits that result in it. Like, I have a whole video that I want to do about that. Thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see it. But I can look at the times in my life when I had gained significant amounts of weight and I was the most unhappy in those times. It's not true for everyone. I know that's not true for everyone. I've also been so skinny it was scary, and it was also because I was really unhappy. But the point is, I can see on my body how I was feeling at any different point in my life. And the goal here really is just to reinforce the idea to ourselves that we are worth effort and energy into ourselves. We're not going to be able to do our hobby every single day. We're not going to be able to really go after every aspect of our goals every day. But you do have to take a shower every day anyway. You do got to get dressed anyway. So why not let that be a ritual for you to help reinforce the idea that, girl, we're going after these things. So like for me personally, I work from home, and it is really easy for me to go to sleep, wake up, and go to sleep in the same shit I slept in the night before. Not change, not brush my hair, not throw on a little lip gloss, nothing. And my brain will just get really lazy and comfortable with that. It's almost like if I don't take a shower, put on a little makeup, change my clothes, run a brush through my hair every single solitary day, my brain just starts to think that it's one big long day. It's almost like my beauty routine kind of punctuates the day and gives me a sense of like fresh energy. I don't know if there's any psychological truth to like that type of it's almost like Pavlovian in some way for me. I don't know if that's rooted in anything other than my own bias towards my habits, but that's just what I've noticed. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, particularly now when we're finna all go back into lockdown, don't live your life as if the only reason in the world that you have to get dressed and put on some makeup is for other people's benefit. It really should be for you no matter what. And this is really how you're testing it, to find out who you're doing this for. So that's just my opinion around beauty routines. If you guys want to see some beauty routine videos, let me know. I'd be happy to make them. In general, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love talking about this stuff, and I am super open to any direction you guys want me to take this conversation. I think it's going to be a big theme in 2021, so if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, make sure, again, you are subscribed. But as always, I like it on the bedrooms. We recently did a live stream. It was so recent, it was yesterday, actually. We just did a live stream where we sat down and discussed that show. Have you guys watched that show, The Undoing? I had so much to say about that show because it deals a lot with narcissistic personality disorder, and it's something that I've spoken about a lot on Patreon because it's something I have experienced or been on the receiving end of several times, I should say, in my life. And there were so many teachable moments in that show and such a good example of what it looks like that we just had to talk about it. It was such a great conversation. I would love to talk about more stuff like that over there in general, but if you're interested in that kind of stuff, Patreon's a place to do it. 2021, I really want to curate some really fun content for you guys over there, so make sure you come hang out. But other than that, check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms, and I will catch you in the next one.